because it's very loud outside. But today's video is going to be about forgiving your parents. As you can see, the last video I made was about forgiving others and yourself. And I think, of course, very, very real, very, very broad. And so this one is about specifically forgiving your parents. I have my notes on my phone, not my notebook today, so it's not as aesthetic, but bear with me. Okay, so I think forgiving your parents is such an important thing in terms of life. I feel like you cannot move on. You can't be the best version of yourself unless you actually sit down and forgive your parents. Not because they deserve it, not because you owe them that, but you owe yourself that. Forgiveness is like, I can't even express how important and vital it is for you to learn how to forgive, especially the people that have had the biggest impact on you. Some people have anxiety because of their parents. Some people have abandonment issues because of their parents. Some people have, honestly, the truth is the hard truth. For me, it was kind of difficult to actually conceptualize and understand that every single person has had something with their parents, and there's no perfect parent, just like there's no perfect person or partner or anything like that. So I think the number one thing is actually accepting and realizing this is not for them, it is for you. It is for you, and it is for your own good. Because when you forgive your parents, you can be able to start from scratch and just reparent yourself and figure out things you like. For me, for example, when I actually sat down and I realized I cannot hold this anger in anymore. I can't. I would be doing myself a disservice if I keep holding in this anger. Life changed. Life as I know it changed. You know that feeling when you wake up with anxiety in your chest? No longer there. And I just let it go. I just understood in my heart that I needed to do this for myself. And it was perfect. It was such a good idea. And I think, especially because I was very young doing all that, I think I just realized at an early age that for me, I am very consumed by anger and bitterness and negative feelings. So I had to deal with it sooner rather than later. And if you are like me, I think it's very important to pay attention to yourself and pay attention to how this anger drives you. Pay attention to how often you think of your parents when you're going through your day. Pay attention to how often you talk about your parents, to your friends, to your spouse, to yourself. And if it does seem like something that is more negative than positive, I think it's a signal. There's a bell ringing that you do have to do some forgiving. You do have to do some letting go in order to proceed with your life. You are you're in a standstill when you're so angry at people who are so close to you or who were so close to you, you know? Disclaimers. Forgiveness doesn't mean that what they did was okay, no matter what it was. Forgiveness doesn't mean that they're a good parent. Forgiveness doesn't mean that you have to reconcile with them. I recently had a conversation with my mom about the reconciliation of like parents and stuff like that, and how some people choose to go completely ghost. Like they're like, oh my goodness, I cannot do this anymore. I don't want to speak to my parents. I'll forgive them, but I'll forgive them from afar, and I'll love them from afar. And she was asking me, well, how would someone live like that? Like, how do they like handle the guilt? In African, this is her talking now, in African environments, we would never, ever, ever, ever in our lives ever dare to go no contact with our parents. And I honestly told her that that's not a strength, that's a weakness. She says it as if it's a strength, but it's not. That's not a good thing. You should be able to have boundaries with any person in your life, anyone who crosses a line that you're not comfortable with. You should be having those boundaries. Me personally, I think it would take a lot for me to go no contact with my parents, but at the same time, we don't know what other people have been through. We don't know the assault, the abuse, anything. Verbal, physical, no matter what it is, we don't know. So I think the best thing to do from our point of view as an individual is not to judge. You do your own and you leave it alone. Do not judge other people for doing and that's what I was trying to deliver in a positive way, or in a respectful way. Like, we don't know what went on with them, so it's better for us to not judge and to just kind of leave it and mind your own business, right? Mind your own business. That's where the saying comes from. You don't know what those people went through. You don't know what they slept in. You don't know the abuse they went through, so mind your own. Anyways, that was a very long disclaimer. Before all of that, let's get into it. I just rubbed my makeup. Okay, so the number one thing I think is understanding that they're just as human as you. They make so many different mistakes in their lives. Okay, the lighting completely changed. They make so many different mistakes in their life, and they are just new to living, just like us. There's nothing special about parents. There's no special chip that they have where they can't feel hurt, they can't feel angry, they can't feel betrayal, they can't make mistakes. There's none. And I think actually realizing, oh, this is just a human, we're just the same. And I know that kind of sounds stupid, but I think growing up you see your parents as this different version. Your world is around them and you see them as superheroes, and once you break it down and get to an age where you can kind of see, oh no, they're just like me, it's sort of like a sobering realization. My camera's gonna die, and so we're gonna change our battery now. Bear with me. The sun. Never mind, it was actually not gonna die. It was just going to the lower brightness. Anyways, yeah, I think, where did I leave off? Thankfully that point was cut short because I could have gone on for 20 minutes. But I think understanding that they're just human. They're literally just human. It's not enough it's not worth it to put them on a pedestal, because you're gonna live through like disappointment throughout your entire life. Like, imagine you just keep thinking, oh, my parents would do this, my parents would do anything. No, calm down and realize they're just as human as everybody else. You don't know what their next move is. Honestly, you can never know what someone is thinking, like ever in your life. Like, someone could tell you one thing and mean another thing. You don't know what they're dreaming, you don't know what they're thinking, you don't know what their main goal is in life, because some people are just not honest with their talk as much as in their brain. And this is becoming more and more common in our society. And so I think understanding that your parents could be the same, that's not a bad thing, that's not a good thing. Many people are shy away from being honest about themselves at a very young age due to trauma, due to bullying, due to different things. So I think understanding it has nothing to do with you, first of all. It doesn't mean you're a bad person, it doesn't mean you're a bad daughter, it doesn't mean you're a bad son, it doesn't mean you're a bad child, point blank, period. It just means they're human, just like you. Experience hurt. They go to work and they have a bad coworker. They have bad experiences in life. They do that too. Sounds like I'm speaking to a baby, but it's very, very vital for all of us. Okay, I didn't know if it was something, but it's very, very important for all of us to be able to actually understand this and really, really, really think about it and dig in and appreciate the fact that they are just like us. It makes it so much easier. So once you've done that, the other point that we have is that you don't deserve to not forgive your parents. I remember having this realization. So for me, my dad unfortunately walked out of my life without saying anything the first time when he moved out of the house because my parents split up. The second time he went back home to Kenya, where I'm from, and I didn't know that he was staying there. He did warn me that he was going there though, and I was shocked. I picked up his car from the airport that he had transferred over to me, and I found everything, all his belongings in there, and it felt like a death, honestly. It really did feel like I was grieving, and the worst part about it though is I was grieving with anger too, and grieving knowing that this person made a conscious decision to do whatever they did. And I remember being so angry and so hurt and so everything. But my number one thing, I've said this in my last video, for anyone in here who is like a people pleaser or hates like thinking of people in the wrong way, and they're sort of naive and believe everyone is wrong, use that to your advantage. I held on to that fact in my heart so that I did not become bitter, I did not become angry, I did not become someone who I don't want to be a part of. No, I made sure to remember that my dad drove me to and from swimming practice every single day. He drove me to school early in the morning and then went back home, picked up my brother. My dad always played with us. He tickled us. He played games with us. He used to go on bike rides with us. He bought us bikes. He bought us different things. And my fondest memory of all of us is when he would go to work. We're new in the West, by the way. We had just immigrated, and he'd go to work and drive in a small Dodge Caravan it was a Dodge Caliber 2009, and he'd drive past our apartment and we'd wave and be like, oh bye, oh my goodness, bye. And it was I just keep remembering that he is a good father. At the end of the day, his intentions were pure, and this is why I don't like when people say the intentions don't matter, okay, because they matter 1,000%. His intentions were pure from the get-go. To me, that is enough. That is enough. I know myself. I have also made plenty of mistakes in my life, okay? His intentions were pure. That is enough for me to start working on forgiveness and to start understanding that I don't deserve to hold any sort of begrudgment. I don't deserve to hold any sort of anger towards a parent who all they did was love me. They hurt me, yes, But with love comes hurt. That is inevitable. It doesn't matter who we're talking about. It doesn't matter if it's a spouse, if it's a husband, if it's with love comes hurt. Done. There's no question about it. There's no debate about it. That's just how it is. And so why would I punish myself beyond the hurt of having someone who loves me hurt my feelings? The math isn't mathing. And so I realized one day, I don't deserve to hold this anger in me. I don't deserve to let it ruin me. And then during my high school period, when I would talk to people, I reached out for help from people, and I said, oh, I need help, my dad, this, and word got around in high school, and people would make fun of me and call me fatherless. And I was like, okay, so now I already have other people against me because of my father's choices. Why would I be against myself? No. I know this trick, and I am going to be for myself. I'm going to forgive, and I'm going to do what others may fear to do because they feel like it may shatter them or may make things okay. I am going to decide to let it go. And I understand there's many things that parents have done that are so bad and so difficult to actually... I have to check that this is filming every so often because the sun is so bright. That... I lost my train of thought. There's many things that parents have done that seem unforgivable, like so many things. But you know what? No matter what your parent has done, I have gone through things with my own mother, words, whatever. No matter what a parent has done, you do not deserve to not forgive. You don't deserve to walk around in anger. You don't deserve to have those things affect your relationships with your partner, with your kids. You don't deserve to walk around thinking, I can't believe my parents didn't love me, or I can't believe they didn't love me right, or I can't believe they wouldn't sacrifice anything for me. No. With the abandonment issues, all that, the narcissism, anything, you don't deserve to not forgive and let it go. You deserve, if you've been through all that, you deserve to just let it go. Move on and reparent yourself in a way that you can find everything from scratch. That's what I did. I decided I was going to teach myself everything that I know because I did not agree with the decisions of some of my parents, some of their decisions. And mind you, I still to this day say that I had the best parents when I was growing up. The best. But when I got older, I realized there's something funky around here. And I decided to parent myself all over again. I chose what I like to do. I chose what I like to eat. I started eating what I wanted to eat. I bought my phones. I bought, because for them, they didn't like the expensive iPhones. And I did everything from scratch. From my university career, from my everything. I didn't listen to a lot of advice, which is not such a very good idea. I mean, you can listen and then make your own decision, but I just didn't listen to anything. And yeah, so why wouldn't you want that freedom of having just yourself in your corner and just love for them and just understanding that, wow, the almost pity, almost like you feel for them, like, okay, if you did that to someone that you love, your child, then you must not be okay. How are you treating yourself if you're doing this to someone that you love, your child? What is going on in your brain if you did this to me? Someone that you love, you know? Anyways, that was a long point. Hopefully I won't have to crop that out. I hate editing videos, by the way. I'm not gonna edit videos for a long time because how do people do that? Okay. The third and last point that we have is it is okay. A lot of times when I used to have those thoughts on parents and everything like that, I would always think to myself, like, no, but it's not okay. Why would I forgive them? It's not okay that he did this. It's not okay that she said this. Not okay in that it's okay that they said that, but you will be okay. It doesn't have to change anything for you. It can hurt you, but it doesn't really have to have a lasting effect past the hurt. It is okay. It'll be fine. Those things happen all the time, and I know that sounds so discouraging to hear, but you just learn how to do better. Every single time something happens where I'm like, even right now, where I'm like, oh, okay, that's a weird thing, in my opinion. I think it's weird for them to do that. I literally just say, I'll do better with my kids. Or we can word it differently so that there's no bitterness undertones there. I'll do differently with my kid. I'll make sure to do this instead. I'll make sure to do that instead. And I just learn as I go. I just take it as a lesson instead of taking it so personally. Because it's never personal. It's never personal. Just think to yourself, why would someone ever want to hurt someone that they love? They must not be okay. And I'm not saying this in a offensive way or anything, but it's not normal to actually hurt your kids or hurt them knowingly or do something that would hurt them. knowingly. That's not normal. So if you're doing that, something that's not be, no, that's how I look at it. And I know that may sound like I have a little bit of anger, but I truly say it with no anger at all. It's just a known fact in my brain that like I wouldn't do those things. And I think to myself as I grow older and think about kids and a life and everything like that, I'm like, wait, hold up. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I would never ever do that, ever. And that's enough for me. Knowing that I won't do that with my kids, knowing that I won't carry that on forward, that's enough. That's fine. I don't have to hold any anger. Knowing that means it's gonna be okay. If I know I'm not going to carry this on another generation, I'm going to make sure to be there. I'm going to make sure to support. I'm going to make sure not to use verbal diarrhea. That's it. So I hope some of these have helped. I have another video talking about how to forgive. This is more so how to forgive your parents and the steps to forgiving your parents, but the how to forgive kind of shows you how to forgive. Because you know how some people say, forgive, and there's no steps? So I stepped it up in the last video. And so hopefully that will be of aid if you're ever confused, like, yeah, you told us all of this, but how are we supposed to forgive?